All right, guys, let's talk about formulas because they need a deeper explanation. In the formula panel, you can see the columns that are blue. They are the conditions, and orange, they are the actual formulas and boundaries for the formula. So on the condition, if the formula is on, it will be executed. Then entity condition. It determines which rows in the sponsored product campaigns will be affected, meaning whatever value is in the entity column, based on that, the formula will be executed. Next blue columns are conditions, meaning you can set up the condition based on spend, or you can be really creative and you can use multiple conditions. You can use even all of them. So if all of them are met, then the formula will be executed. For this example, we have no sales, meaning orders is 0 and spend is greater than 10. Here we have spend between 5 and 10, and those two numbers are included. And as you can see, the number 10, exact spend of 10, is overlapping in both. So what the tool will do is it will pick the bottom one, and this one will be applied to the spend exactly 10. But it's quite rare. It's usually $10.01. So it will be the one above. But for the example, if both are exactly $10 and there's no difference in cents, then the bottom formula will be executed. So you can imagine that you can use, let's make it overlapping even further. So let's make it 15. This top one is greater than 15 because that formula will be applied for every row that is $12, $13, or $14, or $15. Whatever it was, it will be overwritten from this formula. So let's make it back. Oh. The conditions are straightforward. This one means greater than 10. This one means between 5 and 10, including those two numbers. And this one means less than 1. And as you can see, you can use those conditions in multiple places. The important thing is we can use only this sign, and we determine whether it is greater or less by having this sign after the digit or before the digit. Let's get to the formulas. You can use all of those shortcuts in your formulas. You can use RPC, CVR if you want it. If you have some crazy formulas, you can get really creative with them. Let's explain this one. For all keywords and product targeting meeting the conditions, we will get them paused, meaning the state will be updated to passed here if it falls into the filtering category. Next one is CPC times 0.7. It means it calculates 70% of the current cost per click, meaning effectively it lowers the CPC by 30%. Why? What's the difference between bid and cost per click? When you set up this formula like this times 1.2, so you increase the bid by 20%. This will increase the bid each time you run it. So say you have the 50 cents. When you run it, it will increase the bid to 60 cents. Then it will increase the bid to 72 cents, if my math is correct. and whenever you run it, it will increase your bid. If you would have CPC instead, it changes the bid based on CPC. If your cost per click was 50 cents, you run this formula, it will increase your bid to 60 cents. You can run this formula multiple times a day and you will end up with the bid 60 cents every single time. Then after a few days, if you download a new spreadsheet, new bulk operations, then your average cost per click for that period might have changed to 52 cents. If you run this formula again, then you will increase your bid by 1 cent maybe. That's why calculating new bid based on CPC is usually the best option when you want to change the bid value. This example, when I use bid instead of CPC, is solely for the purpose of updating your bid if your placement adjustment modifier changed. Because like you can see here, for example, bid 32 cents. If you calculated new placement modifiers, you might want to include that in your new bid. New bid will be calculated based on your current bid, because the bid will be copied directly to target CPC column, and then the new placement modifier will take place, and then bid will be copied to TCPC, target cost per click column, and new bid will be calculated based on what you have in new placement modifiers. I think that's the only reason when I would use bid instead of cost per click for calculating new bid. And here are the formulas. Like here, whenever the criteria is met, this will calculate a new bid based on cost per click, and it will take cost per click divided by current ACOS and multiplies by your desired ACOS. Meaning if your target ACOS is 35%, then it will use this one. Here's another example. Cost per click divided by ACOS and times 0.29. It means you are targeting 29% ACOS. And here's another one, lower one. Here's a bit tricky one, but this shows you how creative you can become with some formulas. For example, if you have some targets that have got a lot of sales, but they are having ACOS not the one you would wish, you don't want to decrease your bid drastically to lower it to target from 70% ACOS to, let's say, 30% ACOS, because it will change your bid quite a lot and you can simply kill the keyword and therefore you can lose all the orders. And this keyword was getting a lot of orders, meaning it's a good keyword, just a bit too expensive. So what you would want to do, if ACOS is 70%, you might want to drop it to 50% at first and see what happens. If you don't lose sales volume, you will be trying to lower the ACOS even further, but you won't kill the sales volume by doing it this way, meaning cost per click divided by ACOS and multiplied by ACOS minus 0.2, minus basically 20%. That's how you target the ACOS to be 20% less than what it is now. And here you have 10% less than what it is now. So for example, if our ACOS is 45, now this formula will be targeting ACOS of 35 instead of going down to 30 or to 25. And here we have an option for campaigns. Let's say you have a campaign that spent $10 and it didn't get any sales. You pick campaigns here, then this campaign will be paused. Here you can also manage the campaign budgets. So you selected campaign, and if you have chosen last 21 days as the time frame for your bulk operations file, then you use this formula. Spend divided by 21, so this calculates average daily spend, and times 0.075, meaning you're targeting 70% of that, meaning you are lowering your daily budget by 30%. If you have downloaded bulk file for last 14 days, you will simply change it to 14. So spend divided by number of days, it calculates you how much on average daily you are spending, and then times whatever you want. If you want to increase it, then you put 1.7, let's say. This will increase the daily budget by 70% if you would do it this way. Yeah? If you want to do it increase by 30%, then do it this way. Here you have other examples for the campaign where you see the increase of the budgets. And yeah, I hope this explains how the formula works, how the conditioning works, and let's move on to the next chapter.